Tulsi Gabbard is going to be joining us today. She made the big announcement this morning that she is leaving the Democrat Party, and she went through the reasons why. She's launching a new podcast as well, and she said through that podcast, she's going to walk through each of those statements that she made today.
So a lot of people have been kind of waiting for this announcement from her. We've seen her now show up on a lot of more conservative outlets. She's speaking at CPAC. She's doing a lot of things. So it's not necessarily shocking that she would leave.
Tulsi, I appreciate you joining us today on a big day for you, and it's exciting news. I retweeted it right when I was up this morning here on the eastern side of the country. You talk about the cowardly wokeness. And I talk to folks, all the time in the corporate world, and it's like every day tiptoeing around every issue because you don't even know what's coming the next day where you've got to change your entire way of thought, the language you use, the words you use, or suddenly you're on the outside looking in.
They don't support freedom of thought. They don't support, critical thinking. They don't support freedom of speech. And given these are the principles that make up the foundation of our country and our Constitution, and they're diametrically opposed to them and actively seeking to undermine those freedoms, religious liberty being one of them, this is the problem. And this is why so many people are walking around on eggshells, because it's not enough that they're attacking our right to free speech, our freedom of religion. If anyone dares to step outside the line, if anyone even dares to question their logic or their narrative or their argument, they're immediately attacked and smeared. In some cases, their livelihoods are threatened, their ability to support themselves and their families. It is antithetical to who we are as Americans and the vision that our founders had for this country, and therefore poses a direct danger and threat to our democracy.
Leaving the party and leaving the apparatus is a big decision. And just for a moment, I think it would be great to share with our audience around the country and around the world that are listening on our social media platforms. What was the process like? Because this was obviously a big decision. You ran for president in the Democratic Party just a few years ago, and now you're leaving that party.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jay, and I appreciate being able to be here and to talk with you guys this morning. Frankly, because of the work that you've dedicated your life to. You've dedicated your life to defending freedom in a lot of different circumstances, and that's really what this decision came down to. Is that today's Democratic Party is controlled by these woke warmongering elites who hate freedom. Whether we're talking about freedom of speech, freedom of religion, they have no respect for our civil liberties. They don't recognize that there is such a thing as truth. And so when you look at all of these things put together, you can see how insane today's Democratic Party has become. I think there are a lot of folks, a lot of Democrats across the country who have been increasingly concerned over time, as I have been, about the direction that they're taking this country in, and are wondering, hey, what can I do to try to be a part of the solution? Which is why I issued that call to action. Join me. Leave this insane, woke, crazy, and dangerous Democratic Party, and let's take a stand to put country first. Fight for freedom. Fight for our fellow Americans' God-given rights that are enshrined in our Constitution that they seek to try to take away.
Tulsi's able to reach people that we're not able to reach and talk about these issues directly. So go to TulsiGabbard.com. We appreciate Tulsi joining us on this such a big news day for her, a big decision to leave the party.